first entering into our station, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. It's a bright day, a wonderful day. It will be raining in some parts of the country, Nigeria, and across Africa. Welcome to another great day. And I want to use this opportunity to say Happy Children's Day to all the children. Somebody was just asking me earlier, what is the definition of a child? Every human being is a child to somebody. So even if you're an adult, you're a child to somebody. A father or a mother is a child to somebody, really. So I would say Happy Children's Day. And I believe that the children needs to be given a place of pride to be able to actualize their God-given potentials. And as we celebrate and mark their day, we should, as parents, as government, as society, ensure that issues that pertains to children are given priority. Yes, welcome to your program. On this program, we'll give you the information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Today, we'll be bringing you a lot of stories and be looking at our main topic, which is how the Nigerian army has fared in the last 8 years under President Muhammadu Buhari, and what should the incoming government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu be doing to sustain and improve what the Nigerian army has been doing. But that will be after some reports which will bring you. The first report will bring you was that during the week on the sideline of the presidential fleet review by the Nigerian Navy to celebrate and mark the transition of President Muhammadu Buhari, there was the heads of navies and coast guards meeting in Lagos. Let me not unfold everything. Let me bring Shirley Daniels as she gives us the report from that meeting.
Heads of navies and coast guards of the Gulf of Guinea and officials of the African Union have praised the Nigerian Navy under the leadership of Vice Admiral Awar Zubairu Gambo. They expressed this during the Chief of Naval Staff's meeting and Coast Guards on the operationalization of the Combined Maritime Task Force, CMTF, for the Gulf of Guinea held in Lagos, Nigeria.
Your Excellencies, you will allow me to begin by appreciating Nigeria for coming up with a very unique area that sometimes in Africa we do not take it very critically.
Allow me to express profound appreciation to the Chief of Naval Staff of Nigeria for his cooperation and support in being an excellent host, the impeccable logistics and accommodation, together with airport reception, are received gratitude. Thank you very much, sir.
A big thank you to our host for the warm reception since we arrived here, and for his great initiative in leading this effort. Wish you well for this afternoon. Very important event which the Ghana Navy is honored to participate, not only by my presence and my dedication, but also with the ship.
Vice Admiral Gambo used the opportunity to call on the African Union to activate the Committee of African Navies and Coast Guards.
I would also like to use this medium to call on the African Union to activate the Committee of Heads of African Navies and Coast Guards as contained in the African Union Integrated Maritime Strategy 2050. Activation of this committee to provide strategic level of engagements will certainly create necessary avenue for member states to derive maximum benefits associated with the African continental free trade area towards facilitating trade and prosperity.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary Gulf of Guinea Commission, through his deputy, Ambassador Obinna Aguba, stated that the meeting is focused on the endorsement of the reports by the committee on the concept of operationalization of the CMTF.
It is my conviction that the approval of the document by the CNS2C will clear the way for the launch and operationalization of this crucial regional mechanism for peace and security in our continent and in particular the Gulf of Guinea.
The business of the meeting commenced with closed-door deliberation on the subject. At the end of the deliberation, far-reaching decisions were taken and the formal endorsement for operationalization of the CMTF were given by member states. Shirley Daniels, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Well, welcome back. Over the years, the Security Watch Africa initiatives have been carrying the security and safety education and training across across the continent Africa. One of those countries that have actually received Security Watch Africa initiatives so warmly is the Gambia. During the week, the Gambian government directed its envoy in Nigeria to meet with the management of Security Watch Africa on forging a better way to improve security education in the Gambia. Sit back as we bring you this report put together by Ernest Enunebu.
In furtherance to cementing the relationship between the Republic of the Gambia and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, particularly in the area of security and safety education, the Gambian Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency Ambassador Abdullahi Haidara, paid a courtesy visit to the head office of Security Watch Africa Initiative in Abuja. The Deputy High Commissioner was received by the Chief Executive Officer of Security Watch Africa Initiative, Patrick Agmambu, and other members of staff of the organization. Ambassador Abdullahi expressed appreciation to Security Watch Africa Initiative for having contributed to the development, peace, and security in Africa, particularly the Gambia, through its annual Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference that has been hosted thrice in the Gambia.
It's a honor. It's also a confidence booster to know that you are already in an establishment and the office is functioning and it's running like an institutionalized institution that is located, and it's also a good reference for anybody else who wants to hear or know about Security Watch Africa. So for me it's a great pleasure, and on behalf of Her Excellency, the First Lady, we are deeply honored to come and meet with you and discuss a lot of other possibilities as far as Gambia and the institution is concerned.
While conveying the appreciation of the government and people of the Gambia, he however expressed the wish of the Gambian government's partnership and a request to make the Gambia the permanent host of the prestigious Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference.
And I must commend you for the laudable initiative that you have already undertaken. And I want to hasten to say that why not we institutionalize this in an annual calendar, so that the Gambia become a permanent host of this laudable initiative for both the women and the Africa Security Watch, so that it ease of planning, and everybody will know a certain date in the calendar of the year is Gambia. So that that will do, it will strengthen our relationship, but it will also strengthen the co-branded Gambia and Africa Security Watch, because once we are able to co-brand the event and the Gambia, given the advantages that you have just mentioned, and given the competitive edges that Gambia has gained in terms of security, in terms of peace and tranquility, I think the country is poised to be the ideal location for this event.
In response, Mr. Gbambu thanked the Gambian envoy's visit and the Gambian government for always supporting Security Watch Africa initiative.
Nice to tell you the relationship Security Watch have had with the Gambia, but with this you are coming, sir, I promise you, Your Excellency, we are going to intensify it. I'm sure that the idea of getting this in the Gambia will become more solidified now, so that we can bring in more businesses to the Gambia. I tell you that it's been so easy relating with Gambia in terms of when we do the event, unlike some other countries.
The high point of the visit was presentation of plaque. Ernest Enuneku, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes, as the preparation for the inauguration of the new administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu heats up, one of those ministries that have carried humanitarian activities so seriously, the Chukwuma Nwokocha's ministry, had a prayer and intercession session to pray for Nigeria, the new administration, and peace to reign. Security Watch Africa's Lucy Tawo was at the program, and she brings us this report.
In view of the inauguration of the administration of the president-elect, scheduled for 29th May 2023, Pastor Chukwuma Nwokocha of the Chukwuma Nwokocha Ministry have appealed to aggrieved Nigerians to give peace a chance. Speaking during the program, which was attended by groups of the internally displaced persons, IDPs, widows, and children from the FCT School for the Blind, Pastor Nwokocha stressed that many Nigerians have been praying for peace and unity. He said Nigeria needs divine intervention.
The incoming government that will come, the first sign is to unite us. Both Christians and Muslims, we need to be united. If you can gain that, you have gotten everything. They'll begin to make sure that this country is ruled with unity and peace. Equality, everybody must be able to be part of this leadership. That's the only way the country can work. Not one-sided. If we really want to do it well, everybody needs to get involved into it.
He spoke with Security Watch Africa at the end of his program titled Divine Intervention, Peace in Nigeria, held last Saturday in Abuja.
And when you look at what is going on in the world and what the scripture says about touching the less privileged, because the scriptural, and we do what the Lord said we should do. And that's why we're giving, that's why we're touching lives. And it's like a bond to us, because as a Christian, you need to touch people's life. And that's what it needs to be. When you talk about Christianity, you talk about giving. Christianity is about taking care of the less privileged. And that's the true religion. When you talk about true religion, that's what it's supposed to be.
High point of the event was prayers for peace, security, and unity of the nation, offered by students from FCT School for the Blind.
Lord, we pray for our country, that we bring peace into this country in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we pray that Nigeria will become better in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we pray planning bad against this country. Lord, we pray that we touch their hearts in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we pray for the security agency that may you touch their hearts in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we pray that may you use them in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for answering that prayer. Amen.
Lucy Tawo reporting.
Welcome back. Yes, yes. It's just around the corner, precisely on May 29, 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari took over the saddle of leadership of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now we're in another 8 years, another turn and another change of government. When Buhari took over government, the country seems to be at a dead end, really, because a lot of insecurity and terrorists were taking over all parts of the country. But the Nigerian army, leading other security agencies, carried this fight to them. Today, 8 years after, how has it been? Well, that will form our discussions today, but that will be after this intro by Shuli Daniels.
To once again more sincerely thank and appreciate the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for his strategic guidance, untiring support, and encouragement. I also appreciate the confidence the President continued to repose in the Nigerian Army, in its capability and competence to carry out its constitutional mandate. I want to assure of the unalloyed loyalty of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to the President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I would want to most profoundly express our utmost gratitude to the President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for his continuous support, strategic guidance, and the confidence he always reposes in the Nigerian Army. We assure Mr. President of our unalloyed loyalty and dedication to the nation and our constitutional rules. Let me seize this opportunity to once again thank and appreciate our President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for his strategic guidance and untiring support to the Nigerian Army. We appreciate Mr. President for the confidence he always reposes in the Nigerian Army in its capability and ability to conduct its operations and activities. I want to assure the nation of the unalloyed loyalty of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to the President Commander-in-Chief and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That is the Nigerian Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, speaking at different occasions, pledging loyalty to the Constitution and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the last 8 years, the Nigerian Army has played a significant role under President Muhammadu Buhari administration and has continued to improve in its performance against terrorism, insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and secessionist groups, among others. As this administration winds down in 2 days' time, how best should the incoming government work with the Nigerian Army to continue to carry out its constitutional responsibility? This, our studio guest, will provide the answer.
Well, welcome back. That brings us to the discussion, and let me quickly introduce my guest here in the studio. He's no other person than Chimezi Anyadike, a social commentator, and who has been on this program on several occasions. It's a pleasure to have you. I know that time is not our friend, but let's quickly, you watched that intro. Yes, yes. What would you say 8 years after now? Where are we now?
Well, I think it's very visible to the blind and quite loud to the deaf that the improvement is very, very massive. Pre-2015, before the inauguration of the Muhammadu Buhari administration, we all knew what it was like in the FCT to start with. All the suicide bombings, the attacks on the United Nations Secretariat, the attack on the police headquarters, the attack on Banex Plaza, the different bombing attacks, they all over the FCT. We were, practically everybody lived in terror. Churches had security, infrastructure, scanners for every member coming in. Cars were scanned and all of that. In the Northeast, the Boko Haram insurgents were in control of about 15 local governments or so.
No, 21.
Up to that,
21 local
that was pre-2015. When President Muhammadu Buhari was sworn in, he made security one of his top priority. And then, we all heard what he said, relocated the service chiefs then to the Northeast, the command center to the Northeast. And we've seen the outcome. We hardly hear about suicide bombings anymore. We practically have not heard about suicide bombings in the past 2 to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. There is nothing, there's been no bombing attacks on the FCT in over 6-7 years. There have been, inroads sustained by the military hierarchy against the insurgents in the Northeast. When we talk about banditry and all of that, we've seen the inroads that the military hierarchy has, the progress that they've sustained, not just me, they've sustained visible progress against these enemies of the state. So I think it's very, very audible to the deaf and very visible to the blind that we are not where we used to be. Yeah. Nobody lives in fear anymore. Nobody lives in trepidation anymore. Everybody goes about their business like nothing ever happened. And we have to give credit to whom credit is due, that this administration has done excellently and marvelously well in the area of security and improving the hardware and the personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces. I think they should receive kudos for that.
That's good. That's heartwarming, you know, because one thing is to achieve something, a success, to achieve success. Another is to sustain it. Now, now the honors is now in the new commander-in-chief. How can he motivate this army or sustain this motivation to ensure that the dark days does not come back again?
Well, I think his work is cut out for him. In fact, I should say that a great percentage of the work, of the job, has been done for him by the Muhammadu Buhari administration, in the sense that the morale of the military infrastructure of Nigeria has never been as high as it has been, been currently. The morale of the men is so high. You know, when you watch some of their activities on social media, how they recapture towns, rescue hostages and all of that. You hear them singing, you hear them jumping up and down, rejoicing, something that never happened before. So I think what the incoming administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should do is just to take the playbook of the Muhammadu Buhari administration, you know, sit some of them down as consultants, take the playbook and then improve on it. I love what the incoming vice president said, that the president, that's the incoming president, would be in charge of the economy, that he was seated in the theater of war throughout his 8 years of administration as the governor of Borno State, so that he understands insecurity and how to tackle it, so he would be able to do what is necessary to continue the legacy of the Muhammadu Buhari administration, to improve on the current infrastructure of the military, hardware and personnel, and also strategies on not just tackling insecurity, but preventing it. We've developed the capacity to tackle, but we need to develop the capacity to at least prevent, to forestall it, to nip it in the bud before it happens. So I think that the playbook is already there. They just need to take it, study it, and then improve on it to guarantee sustained success in tackling insecurity.
Yeah, you see, because why some Nigerians worry is that, yes, we have recorded successes against terrorism and insurgency, the banditry, almost not. But you see, criminals and crime is dynamic.
Yes.
As you're taking care of this, they are coming up.
Yes.
You see, you've just talked about prevention. You know, the community seems to not to be part of the issue to make sure we don't have crime in our society. How best can this government help to get these people, the citizens, the communities involved in their own security?
Okay, first and foremost, I think what ought to be done is to build on the confidence of citizens in the security infrastructure or the security personnel. I think the confidence level is quite high, but it needs to be improved on much more. I've been privy to some of the activities of, what's it called again? The corporate social responsibility activities of the army in various locations, in various places in Nigeria. The only challenge is that there is no publicity of these things. So people actually don't know that the army has been carrying out medical outreaches. People don't even know that the army has been building bridges, building hospitals, building water, providing water resources for a lot of communities all over Nigeria. People don't know these things. So I think what needs to be done is the security or the military infrastructure of the country need to improve very much on their engagement with the public. There is no publicity concerning their achievements. It's those of us that are on social media that get this data and we start propagating them all over social media. So I think, first and foremost, they need to do these things to sensitize the public on the fact that, listen, we are not just about carrying guns or carrying bombs and all of that. We're not just about making people frog jump, because that's just what's in the mind of citizens. Yeah. But this is what we do. We provide health services, free health care. We've built bridge infrastructure. We've built roads. We've done all this. We've built classrooms for a lot of schools. So these are the things that we've been doing. And by the time they put it out there in the public, the mindset, the perspective of the citizens will change. And when it comes to communal policing, you will not need to get anybody to, think twice before they report on any issue. that they must have witnessed. People want to do that, but they are like, if we do now, who will protect me? Is this same people that will now want to, get me locked up and all of that, brutalize me and all of that. So when they put out the fact that we're also members of the society as all of you, but this is what our responsibility is, to protect you. Once I know that you really, really care about me and you want to protect me, what would prevent me from, if I hear something or see something, I'll not quickly come to report to you and you handle it. So I think that's what they really need to invest in.
You talked about not enough publicity for what these people are doing, and the government information managers are not doing enough. President Buhari did say so, that
Yes.
I think people who are supposed to speak are not speaking.
Yes.
And really, that is why the people may not know.
Yes.
The little we are doing here, there's need to encourage.
Yes.
There's no government support for this. AIT, that communication through AIT have been making sure we are on air every time, but no support to ensure this is sustained, and more needs to be done. In fact, though, getting signal that we must leave, we wish we have enough time to really look and talk about this. But on your final word, you have talked about what should be done. Now, what would you want the Nigerians now to do as a way to ensure that there is security with this new government, dispensation we are facing now?
I think all we need to do is just to ensure that we support the incoming government. With regards to security, security is the response. Yes, it's everybody's responsibility and business. You won't just sit down, fold your arms and say, the security belongs to government and all of that. It's everybody's business. But like we have already discussed, it is important that the government does what it needs to do to sensitize, to enlighten the public.
Yeah.
That is how you build confidence. I watched a video on social media. A little girl walked up to a soldier and saluted the soldier, and the soldier saluted back. And I'm like, this is what should be out there. Unfortunately, it's not propagated, so that other children will watch it and now you understand how they won't be scared.
But some parents will use soldier and police to threaten their children. If you are crying, I will call police for you.
Exactly. That is when you've done something wrong. When you've not done anything wrong, it's something you can walk up to a soldier and salute, and that's it. Yes.
All right. On that note, we must leave for that programs. Thank you very much for finding time to be with us once again. Viewers, sadly, we must leave for that programs to continue. But we'll say thank you for being part of this program. Follow us on our social media platforms. Send us your views and your comments. Send us your questions so that we can take it up. Until we come away again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.